Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be showing you Daitrution, another alternate build I've made using the parts from the LEGO Creator set number 31112 Wild Lion. Now, first and foremost, we will be taking a look at the build itself. Now, getting a good, nice, closer look at the head. First of all, not that complex. It's a pretty simple head build. I do like how the horns turned out. That's nice. Does give the head a nice look, as to the horns on his shoulders. I feel it gives him a nice silhouette. How the horns are kind of swept back like this. Do enjoy how that looks. Moving down on his arms, he does have these sort of arm-mounted blade-like weapons. That's nice. I do enjoy that. Does make him kind of look familiar. Does make him look familiar. I do enjoy it. Now the head. The torso. You might be able to, in case it wasn't obvious, the torso kinda looks like a monster-esque head. And there's a reason for that. One reason is, going into this build, I was sort of inspired by Gurren Lagann's design and how came apart. So as I was saying, this was kind of inspired by the Gurren Lagann's design and how his torso kind of looks like a monster-esque head. So I decided to do something that's kind of reminiscent to that here. It kind of makes him have a nice monster head. I do like how I use the teeth here to not only make him look like he's chomping on someone whenever he's utilizing his ab crunch. But I also like this because the teeth actually fills in those gaps, between in the abdomen, does make him feel a little bit more complete that way. I do enjoy that. Moving down to his legs, I do enjoy how his legs are designed. He has a nice clean looking thigh design, and moving down to his lower legs, he does have a nice look to his legs with these sharp looking kneecaps, and rounded off knee sections all the way down to the heel supports. And he also has some blocky toe. He has some blocky toe, foot plating and all that. I do, and plus the tusks of fur, these maroon pieces down here for texture. I do enjoy how this turned out. I think it worked out nicely. And turning him around, and here you get a good look at him from the back. He does have these giant things just dangling about on his back. But there's a reason for that, which I'll be getting to soon enough. Next, I would like to talk about his articulation, because it does have a good amount of good range of articulation. So his head is on a ball joint, can look up pretty far and down pretty far, and it can tilt side to side and of course swivel. These shoulder spikes can rotate to accommodate for arm movement, which is on a ball joint, and a pretty expressive one. It has a good range to it. Do enjoy that. He does have a ball joint at the elbow, can bend up to 90, can like swivel around like that and all that. And of course he also does have a ball joint at the waist, which of course can allow for not only a waist swivel and like side to side movement, but it can also like have an arching back and have an ab crunch, which utilizing it kind of makes it look like his torso's like chomping down on something, which is neat. Legs like to fall apart. Not sure why it. Well, obviously I know why it's Lego, but that's just the beauty of it. Anyways, back to the articulation. The hips are on a ball joint, and because they're not like limited to hip skirts or anything, they can get out of the way, and you can move them around a good bit. You can kick them up a good range. You can obviously like kick him out and back and all that. His knees are quite interesting because his knees are actually utilizing like these like corner plates, which at first I didn't really think I would be able to use because it made it look awkward. But after like adding onto the legs, it eventually made it to a point where I actually did like how the leg turned out. And as a result, his knee can go back like incredibly far because of it. That's a really nice knee bend. Really nice. And on a single knee joint. Do enjoy that. And then lastly, his toes are on a ball joint, which can allow for a little bit of toe bend, and of course some toe pivots, which can allow you to put him on more of an A stance. Very nice. There we go. So he has a great range of articulation, which I'm glad for. I usually do put lots of articulation in my builds, so I can pose them around whenever. Oh yeah, and all these are on ball joints and can like hinge around, but I can explain more about those later. But for now, we can talk about these, like his arms, because these might be a little familiar, because you can like remove these and have basically like unsheath his arms, and basically that's what his arms would look like under these giant blades. So you can basically unsheath those, but I prefer to just leave them on. This just came off. Man. These Legos just love falling apart. There we go. And And yeah, you can unsheath the weapons and like utilize the hands, like, and all that. Very nice. But with that, we can now go to size comparison. So, here he is next to a minifigure. You can see that he's pretty large when next to a minifigure. The minifigure goes about as high as his kneecap, about his knee spike. Here he is next to a recent review, the Venom mech armor. And I'm bringing this up because I'm actually like showing you a feature that I, for some reason, forgot to mention in the review, in the proper review. So, on his hands, his articulated hands, there are these bracket pieces that reveal like one stud each. What you're supposed to do with these is you're supposed to grab your included minifigure of Miles Morales, and what you do is you attach the anti-studs on the back of his legs onto the bracket piece, like so, and you can wrap his fingers around and make it look like he's grabbing Miles Morales. Like so. That's really nice. Obviously, it's like a pretty cool feature. But I honestly kind of forget about it sometimes, which obviously I did, otherwise I wouldn't be bringing it up now. I just wanted to bring this up because I forgot about it in the actual review. But anyway, back to this figure. And onto the next comparison. Here he is next to a very familiar face, that being Danya. Another alternate build I have made using this same set. Now you can tell that some of the like skeletal structure of Danya I have recycled and reused for this guy. As you can see, he just fell over. As you can see, you can mainly see it in the shoulders and the way and the way that the weapons can sort of attach onto Danya's arm. Like so. So there's that. And because of her insanely long legs, she is a little bit taller than our new guy here, which is totally fine. However, I do appreciate how I was able to fill in like this gap using the teeth, so that was nice. So anyway, back to this guy. And so you might be able to think I'm like almost done with this guy, right? Wrong, because this guy, I actually made it so he can kind of transform. So to transform Daitrution, first flip down his head. Then what you do is flip out the legs. It's like flip out the legs like so. Like basically just rotate this and basically like spread these out. These will form the back legs. Next, what you do is you take the robot legs and bend them up and fold them over his back. Like so. While folding his toes down can be a little tricky, mainly because there's really no place for these legs to tab in. So what you do after that is you take his arms and sort of move around his arms so that the front ends of these spikes sort of fall in the little crevices of the eye sockets, like so. Then after that, you rotate the horns and then adjust the lower arms. And then after that, you are done. Here is Daitrution in his crazy gunman form. I'm just gonna call it his gunman form. Like in the anime. So in this form, you do see more of that beast-like head creature in action. You can see getting a good look around. His legs do fold up into this. I do wish I was able to find a way to tab these in some way, but the way he is now, I'm not too mad about it. I'm okay with it. The rear legs, I'm okay with. They do look kind of weird. They do look kind of basic, I would say, but they get the job done. I do like how the torso head kind of gets additional features. Kind of gets some different features in this form. You can see that these tusks of these hair, these almost hair details, added on to him. It's almost like he has a mane or hair or something. That's kind of what this looks like to me, with all these maroon texture pieces. And do you see his horns oriented in a different way, as well as these horns up here? It does give it a slightly different look in this form, which was exactly the thing I was going for. And this, man, not sure what that was about, but okay. So articulation now. Obviously, I talked about the arms already. A benefit for these legs not being tapped in is that I can go down here and actually move around his jaw so that he looks like he could be talking or munching on something. So that is fortunately a benefit to not having these tapped in to any place. So you can talk and express, have facial expressions and stuff like that. Do appreciate that, at least. And then we get to the back legs, which is what's new. So there's a ball joint in here, and it does have good range, but is slightly limited due to the legs being here. He also has a hinge here, which can hinge up and down a good ways. And he also has a hinge here, down here by the foot, I'm guessing, by the foot. So utilizing those joints, you can sort of get him in like a rearing position. I guess, yeah, you can put him in like a rearing position. Where it's like getting ready to attack. Like so. Because I can kind of imagine him like this, where he sort of attacks using his front. Where he either attacks using his front arm blade talons things, or by ramming someone with his horns. And kind of like a bull, or something. That's sort of what I imagine how this guy would attack in this form. I do like how this sort of transformation thing turned out. I do think it kind of gives him a nice, weird looking beast form. Like, something that, well, not beast form, more like gunman form, because I can totally see this guy being in Gurren Lagann as a gunman. I could totally see this as a gunman from Gurren Lagann. Like, minus the Lego-y features and all that. But hey, I do appreciate how this turned out. Now moving on for size comparisons for his gunman form. Here he is next to a minifigure. So you can see him next to that. Here he is next to the Venom mech suit. No, you can tell, here you can definitely tell that he's way shorter. And of course, here he is next to fellow alternate build, Danya. Now you can tell he's way shorter, but he's also like folded up and on 4 legs. So overall, I do really like how this guy turned out. I did go into this build wanting to build something Gurren Lagann inspired, and I think I did a good job on it. And of course I'm going to be building. Of course I'm going to be showing you how to build this guy later on, because I want you guys to be able to build this too. I do enjoy how this turned out, and I kind of want to see how you. I kind of want to hear what you guys think about it, because it's a weirder looking. It's kind of a weird looking thing, but I do really like it, and I hope that you guys do too. And that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed this alternate build, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.